Iraq, 1991. Two F-14 Tomcats are hunting Iraqi Scud missile systems. The Scud missile systems are currently targeting cities in Saudi Arabia, the port city of Dhahran more specifically. During the initial phases of the invasion, this was hit several times by Scud missiles, and at one point, military personnel there actually took their anti-nerve agent pills. Further over here to the northwest, you'll have a 2,000-pound Scud missile system right here, or 980 kilogram. It is targeting the city of Tel Aviv, and this city was actually targeted as well during the initial phases. All of this was an attempt to bring more nations into the war by Iraq. And in today's video, we're actually going to talk more closely about the targeting aerial reconnaissance pod, as well as the Lantern weapon system. So our first F-14 Tomcat right here is going to focus on locating this unit. We're going to bring him from 36,000 feet all the way down to 8,000, and he'll make his initial spot at around 7 nautical miles. This other F-14 Tomcat has the laser-guided GBUs, which we're going to use. If I come over here, I'm going to show you what they are. They're the GBU Mark 83 Papa Bravos. These are better used for actual hard targets, but unfortunately, I wanted to demonstrate the laser-guided system, so we're not going to use unguided free-fall bombs in this video. So we're going to begin by hitting play. We're going to talk about some of the major events that took place, the target reconnaissance pod, how it's used, the overall tactics. We're not going to go too much because I'm not super familiar, but I'm going to link so many resources down in the description on all the research I did throughout the day for this video that's going to talk about the Scud missile systems that were launched. It's going to talk about special forces that were actually more north up here near Syria that were actually hunting Iraqi Scud missile systems on the ground. And if you want to see a video where I use special forces to laser designate targets for the Tomcats or even the F-18s, let me know down in the comments. And as always, if you enjoy military strategy, tactics, and doctrine and like seeing applied to strategy games, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tell me what you think. And always help me out. So let's hit this F2 button. We're going to bring this one F-14. This is the one with the TARPS, or the Tactical Air Reconnaissance Pod. We're going to bring him down to 8,000 feet. We're also going to pick him up to cruise. And so what this is going to do, it's going to allow him to descend at a relatively rapid rate. This Tomcat right here, this is the wrong one we brought to 8,000 feet, but we're just going to go with it anyway. We're going to bring him to 8,000. We're going to put him at cruise, and we're going to go back to our Lantern right here. We're going to actually group these units closer together as well. Since this one's still lowering its altitude, we're going to stop him at 25,000 because I believe that is the maximum altitude for our laser-guided GBUs. So we are going to stop at 25,000 feet, and if we hit this Control D, we can see they're quite far apart. I kind of want to group them closer together. They're around 9 nautical miles. We can bring them closer together. And as always, you can really see I haven't like turned these off, so we hit Control V, we can turn these on and off. So what that does, that turns off God's eye view for us. We want God's eye view on for right now. We're still designating a few things. We're getting our Tomcat, our air reconnaissance vehicle, kind of moving directly over it. I think our first spot is going to be like around here, like closer to here, like is where we'll make this initial assessment. So we're going to slow this unit down a little bit, and we're going to get him following behind our tactical reconnaissance unit. And that's a bit of a hard turn right there. So let's just kind of ease him in. And what's slowly going to happen is this unit's going to fall in line, get closer to his partner, and then when he makes a spot, he can drop his laser-guided GBUs. And around at 3 nautical miles, this guy will actually show up as hostile. So if we switch over to, so this is our Al Hussein, our one. This one actually has a range of 480 nautical miles. So as you see, it's right on the border, like right at standoff range, and can easily target this city. So we're actually going to switch to the Iraqis real quick and target that city. We may just have to do like a random spot. So let's click this unit, and then we come down here, we can simulate some of those first attacks that took place during the Gulf War. So we can launch around 6 Scud missiles at this guy. So we'll just fire all 6. It's important to note that these weapon systems are not accurate at all in the least bit. A bit of research that I did, if I can find it again, is that they dump all their fuel on launch. So what they do is, whether it's soft or all their fuel, so they'll just blast off, get into the atmosphere, or at least into the sky, and then they fly erratically. Was one of the major things about them that make them hard to intercept. We'll have to do some Patriot missile system videos in the future as well to see if these are actually hard to intercept. Then we'll do the same over here for Tel Aviv. We'll grab this guy over here, Israel's showing as unfriendly, but let's see if it's still going to let us target them. So let's just do that. Let's just start dropping all kinds of weapons. And they just begin dumping all kinds of rockets onto this unit. And we're just going to dump all these rockets. I mean, we could even target like the hospital, the schoolyard, the train yard. I believe these are all different buildings and to begin with. So let's select our Scud missile once more, and let's get another rocket in the air. Another 2. So this one's actually launched a whole bunch, and this would be way closer to Syria, where we would kind of do some spotting with our special forces if we really wanted to track this unit down. We have Scud missiles flying down here towards Saudi Arabia, and if we hit Control V, we can bring everyone right back up and see where everyone's at. This unit's still trying to get into position, so let's switch back to the USA. Let's see what we can do. And let's hit F3. Currently, this Lantern, if we scroll down here and we take a look at our sensors, he shouldn't have anything active, so his laser designator is not active right now. We're gonna leave it how it is. So as you see, so we're coming up close. This guy's currently, what's his altitude? 8,000 feet. He should be detecting it. We don't need to turn anything on with our systems. Like I said, our initial spots will start happening. We're getting close, so let's just turn God's Eye off and see, like I said, like around 7 nautical miles. So with that being said, we really need to speed this guy up. So let's hit this F2 key. Don't worry, we're not going to miss those Scuds, like the Scud missiles hitting those people. We'll keep an eye on them. We'll also bring up like our 3D view. I know I didn't bring up that 3D view. So we'll bring that up as well. And we're probably not going to alternate between views because that 3D view will go away. So as you see, there's our Tomcat. Look at him, looking good. So it's important to note that we're using 2 different versions of the Tomcat right now. I don't think the Lantern system was actually used in 1991. I just wanted to demonstrate like laser-guided bombs. I hope that's okay. But I know the TARPS was. It was mainly used to do some aerial reconnaissance, and I thought it would be fun to do like cool little videos on that. So what we're doing is we can report back damage assessments. We can actually put like unguided weapon systems on this unit if we really, really wanted to. This guy's still not showing up as hostile yet. We're about to fly right over him, so let's see if we get that hostile mark here in a moment. Kind of crazy that it's still not showing as hostile. And there it goes. Like I said, like around, what was that? Like 1, 2, 3 nautical miles, that target, that system will start showing as hostile. So now that we have that unit identified, we did some quick little reconnaissance. We will hit zoom out, hit Control V, see where our Scuds are at. And we're going to close this 3D view because it's going to keep doing that. As you see, our Scuds are still in flight. This one still has quite the long way to go. So we may miss this one. It's around halfway. Let's see how close we are with our GBUs right now. So let's take a look at our GBUs. Honestly, I think we're going to be able to drop our GBUs before anything. So let's grab our Lantern weapon system. Let's see what he can do. Let's turn Control V off. We still have this unit target. Let's hit F3. And let's just take a look. Ready? All right, we're now in range. We're just going to drop 4 on top of him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Allocate all 4 of our GBUs. And there they go. Laser guided system is active. GBUs are away. So we can actually click on those. We can bring back up that 3D view. It's going to go like that. We'll minimize it. We'll drag it up here to the right. We'll zoom in. And we'll click on one of them. Any one of them's fine. It won't let us like select the GBU. So it's being, there it goes. So as you see, there's our GBU paveway. Mark 83s. Moving into this target that already fired obviously all its Scud missiles. But that's just part of the fun of making this scenario. There they go. And so you have 2 separate screens to see that on. Outstanding. And it didn't completely destroy it, which is unfortunate. I'm not overly concerned about that. I knew that was going to happen. I tested this several times. I just didn't want to drop a bunch of like dumb guided bombs or like unguided bombs because that's just not very fun for people. Obviously, we could like come in at like 2,000 feet or whatever and drop some unguided bombs, some clusters on that. I think, and obviously this is not just one unit, it's like 5 or 6. So if we really wanted to do a complete damage assessment on that, we could. So let's hit Control V. All right, let's watch our Scuds over hit Israel right now. So as I'm going to link a resource down below that will tell you more about the Scud missile systems that struck Israel. It was actually really hard to find launch sites, so I need to see if I can dig some more up. So here we have Scud missiles all flying erratically. We can put them up on our 3D view. Once we pull these 3D views up, we're going to take a look at that. And these are actually really fun videos to make because we get to talk about so much. We can talk about Scud missile systems, how they work. Oh, look at that bad boy. We can talk about Sea Bernie. We can talk about the ones that hit Tel Aviv. We can bring special forces into this. We can even use like F-18s instead of F-14s. Originally, I was going to go more into Grenada with this, but they only mainly did like damage assessments there, unless you have different resources. Now, I really want to talk about something here. I will put all these reports together into a report, but it will more be like something to put on Patreon or even like a join feature of YouTube. Let me know if that's something you would like. All right, here comes a Scud missile system right here, SS1, 2,000 pounds, I believe, or 980 kilograms, whatever you want to do, 2.2, just multiply it by that. And we're getting quite close. Goodbye. What is this? Hospital's our target. Tall building, solid miss. All right, we missed that, but I mean, these are really inaccurate weapon systems, and I can link some information down below for that that talks about how inaccurate they are. So honestly, these are not going to be extremely dramatic when watching them. Like, right? Like, this is more like, I mean, just based off of that, what's that? Like, let's hit Control D from that blast to our target, 1,000 meters off. I mean, that's completely within the realm of possibility. Right, so our main target system right here was an antenna, a hospital, and we just land like around 1,000 meters off. All right, we knew nothing extraordinary was going to happen over there. I mean, that's why there were only like 40 or 50 fired. And here comes the one moving in. So actually, some people were actually did not survive one of these Scud missile strikes. I believe it was around 25 people were struck February 25th. I will link it down below. And as you see, we have 6 heading this way, 500 kilograms, high explosives. They are about, if we hit that Control D key, 56 nautical miles out. Our F-14s are still orbiting this area. We could just bring them back. I don't have a position, aircraft carrier for them to land on down here in this area. That's unfortunate and not forward thinking by me. But takeoff and landing was not one of the intended parts of this video. All right, so here's our Scud missile systems currently on their way. So there's the warheads. These ones are much smaller, though. As you see, I believe these are only 500 kilograms, so 1,000 pounds. And there are actually Scud missile systems that are only 250, that only have 180 kilometer range or nautical mile range. I'm not quite sure. Nautical mile. Might be kilometers. But we only have the 500s and 1,000s in this game. So let me fix that. There they go. There you go. We see our Tomcats in the back. We see our Scuds up here, currently starting on their descending trajectory, flying all erratically. Apparently, the Patriot system could not hit these. JK. Not sure, but we will test that in a later video. We'll also practice some interceptions with some other weapon systems, if we could possibly do that. If that's something you're in, we could research it a little bit. All right, it is closing in. 17 nautical miles. Right here we have the port city of Dhahran. We have just a port crane. We have a built large government building, and we have an airport terminal. I just put those right there. I don't think there's an airport there, but it's probably more in the city or on the outskirts over here. Here we go. Oh, it actually close and resume. We got the terminal. It took 6 Scud missiles. Those are way, look at how accurate it is. That's right on point. That's way more accurate than the 1,000 pound ones or the 2,000 pounds. So, I mean, it took 6. I mean, even still, if we hit Control D, I believe this was where the terminal was. I mean, they're still like 500 meters off, 600 meters off, which is well within like the realism range. I mean, obviously we had to launch 6 at one little location. And then we just zoom out and we take a look at, obviously, the surviving weapon system, our 2 F-14 Tomcats, and our shorter range Scud missile system on the border of Syria. All right, guys, that's the video. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.